Antics, 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 Antics Home Show. Stay home.
Hi. Welcome back once again to our living room for another Antics Home Show.
Woo!
I feel like I really nailed that then. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like that was a really smooth start that I then just drew attention to. So welcome. We have a really
My
exciting
only line
show.
was woo. I nailed that, I think, as well.
You really did nail it, yeah. I'm letting Scott have a little bit more autonomy in the show.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Sure.
Okay.
If this is your first Antics Home Show, what are you going to expect? It's a wonderful hour of entertainment. It's pretty eclectic. If you've seen the one show or Blue Peter, it's not that, but it's trying. It's we are going to be seeing some gardening. We've got pyramids, crafting. We've got Fun Roz coming back later.
We've got Fun Roz coming back later. I am slowly accepting that name and everything with it. However, just again, we'll caveat, as always, just because people might be new, caveat that the reason I don't like the word Fun Roz or the name Fun Roz is because I am a fun person generally. So when you caveat it with like, this is Fun Roz, it suggests that the rest of the time I'm not Fun Roz. So you can see how actually it's quite insulting.
Yeah, well, I understand that.
But you still continue to do it.
Exciting.
But you've still made me a jingle.
Should we change
okay.
your name to More Fun Roz?
No.
Maybe that would appease everyone.
That wouldn't appease anyone. That's just adding like a prefix to it. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. English. So we've got, as you say, some really exciting stuff coming up this session. Is the session the right word? We went out for a meal the other day at down the restaurant down the road, and I haven't been out in public hanging out with real people for a while. So the first thing I did was walk up to the woman at the front door, and I can't even think of the word.
You hadn't really been out at all.
Hadn't been out at all. So I said, oh, hi, I've got an appointment for food. And she just looked at me like, you haven't been out at all, have you?
Come, let us feed you.
And then she put us in the back when no one else was. So, yeah. Anyone else got any fun dining out experiences? I mean, it's coming up to eat out to help out, right?
You've got to help out.
You've got to eat. You've got to help by eating out with the food at places to help out.
That was the original version of that phrase.
So you can see they've really shortened it.
The Tories are just so economical with words. So, Roz, I've been hearing some criticism.
Have you?
Yeah, some criticism that we're not engaging with the Twitch audience that was already there before lockdown, before everyone started just pouring onto Twitch.
See what you mean. You're talking about the fact that Twitch is traditionally a platform for gamers and people playing video games and talking about video games and and all that entails, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So that's why we sent Antic Whacker to explore a video game.
Antics Home Show.
Hi guys, I'm just going to be playing Pet Dogs 2 and let's get started. So I'm just going to move in here, move for the pet. Right, where we missed, no problem, I'll just go in for a second try. This one is directly on it, so we're just going to... Okay, that's a bit ridiculous, my cursor was on it. Who designed this? I mean, come on man, like, I'm on it. Just pet the dog, pet the dog. What is this? Is my controller busted? Come on man, This is ridiculous. Who designs crap like this, man? This is why people get angry when they play games. Oh my god, what is this crap? Oh, just, come on. Guys, are you seeing this? Oh my god, this is the best game I have ever played. Holy crap.
Antics Home Show.
I would pay so much money for that game. Like... Actually, I lie. I would pay a reasonable amount of money for that game. I would probably pay what's an average game price nowadays? Like $10.99 for a game like that.
It's maybe
Yeah?
it looks quite retro in the way it's.
What sort of system would you say that was? I mean, what
it
what
looks
was that
like
on?
a GoldenEye rip-off to me.
So an N64 then.
So
is what you're
yeah,
saying.
So it should be a bargain biscuit.
Should be a bargain biscuit.
It should be a bargain.
You know that old
biscuit.
classic phrase, the bargain biscuit? It should be one of those. What would that mean? Like just the biscuits at the bottom of the barrel that no one wants, so it's you have to bargain
sort
them
of
off.
Soggier biscuit.
What's the worst biscuit? What's the biscuit that would get left over? Is it rich tea? Rich teas.
They're okay.
No, they're like the rubbish biscuit. They're the biscuit that like your mum gets and you're like,
Oh, have I offended you, mother?
yeah, sorry, mum. What did I do this week? Was my grade not good enough at school? Whereas if you get a hobnob, like a chocolate hobnob specifically, you know that you've been striving for excellence, and you know truly that you are going to make it in society and life. I got a
lot
hobnob.
of subtext to your biscuits at home, wasn't there?
There was. I mean, every now and again, you get a custard cream, and you think, what does this mean? What did I do, or what did I not do?
Is the custard cream good or bad?
I don't know to this day. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can keep naming biscuits, but I'd probably run out after a little while. A ginger nut, a bourbon, shortbread.
Twitch, should we turn this into a biscuit-based quiz for Roz, or should we crack on?
I really feel like people would like to hear me list as many biscuits as I can.
You haven't said Garibaldi yet.
A Garibaldi, a Leibniz, chocolate Leibniz. Oh, I know, it's named after like a famous philosopher, Leibniz. I think it's German. Right? Okay.
So, coming up on the show, we have a very special guest coming up.
Yeah, we really do.
It's Luke.
No, it's Farmer Luke. He's asked us to caveat his name with Farmer Luke now. Luke is a friend of ours, fellow Antic, and I think, well, he's been very invested in farming recently. He'll tell us a bit more about that later on.
Very exciting.
Yeah, I have no idea. He says he's got something really big news to tell us, so I really can't wait to hear what that is. Probably about some sort of plant he's been growing or something. I'm not sure. Maybe.
Before that, we need to hear from one of our sponsors.
Antics Home Show.
Do you want to make big money fast, but don't want to join one of those nasty pyramid schemes? Then you need Evergreen Life. We're more than just the award-winning producer of health and wellness products like snake oil and snake oil light, but also a business opportunity for everyone. Unlike those nasty pyramid schemes, we're a multi-level marketing company. Here's how it works. You tell others about the opportunity, then everyone they recruit and everything they sell, you get a percentage of. And it's not a pyramid scheme. An even better way of putting it is that you are at the center of your own business, recruiting people into what's called your downline. Look how the money they make flows up the To put it another way, every sale and recruitment made by your downline gets filtered down to you. It's like a funnel of money, with you at the bottom, or like an upside-down pyramid. Who needs sustainable, guaranteed income, regular hours, holiday pay, sick pay, or untainted personal relationships? Because you're in the big bucks now. Evergreen Life. Because someone needs to be on top of the pyramid, triangle, pile. Because someone needs to be on top.
Antics Home Show.
Illuminating.
We're very grateful to Evergreen Life for their sponsorship. Without these trustworthy companies, where would
I don't
we be?
actually know where we get our company sponsorships from.
I deal with
It's a
the
mystery
financials.
to me. Yeah, Scott is getting involved with what I can only assume is shady business, based on the last couple of adverts that we've had. What? That you... Come on. That one was basically just admitting that it was a pyramid scheme.
No, it wasn't. It was clearly saying it wasn't a pyramid scheme. That's why it was so exciting, an opportunity that we could all get involved with.
Please. What have people been saying at home? What have we got for the chat? Anything fun? Anything fun? That would be
There's
nice.
been a lot of biscuit hot takes.
Yeah?
Um,
Has anyone been telling me what their favourite biscuit was?
the
or something
worst
like that?
biscuits are nice biscuits. The branding doesn't outdo the poor quality.
Yes.
Blue Boy 101. That,
Well, actually, I don't know. Isn't nice kind of covered in a coating of like sugar that basically I mean, it's just a sugar biscuit. It's a biscuit dipped in sugar, right?
Nice.
Nice. So, you know, frankly, I don't know if there's anything wrong with that. I mean, a rich tea is just, I mean, it's a lie, isn't it? A rich tea, it doesn't make any sense. It's just a boring biscuit.
I think I just hate the idea of a biscuit reviewing itself on the label. On the biscuit. Nice.
Nice.
And even if you're going to do that, you might as well toot your
Go
own
the whole
trumpet
way.
and say 5 stars. Best biscuit ever.
Or just like this biscuit is, and then nice. Like, just caveat it a little bit. I keep saying the word caveat today. It feels like the right kind of word to use. Thoughts? Hot take? Was that a hot take? That was a hot take.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I think the reason, just going back a second to that ad, the reason that kind of triggers me a little bit is because I've recently been...
Do you mean trigger?
I mean triggered, yeah, I do. I really do, because I've been like bothered recently by... I got a text the other day from the Avon women. I don't know what that company thing is called. Is it just Avon? Avon makeup, you know, the makeup people, basically the ones that go door to door and they sell you stuff. But that's very much a pyramid scheme, because they're like, and then I'm really like dropping myself right now in deep water if Avon is tracking me. But they like basically message me saying like, do you need a job? Avon has all these amazing opportunities. All you need to do is, you know, buy your kit and then sell it, and then you need to invest in your friends, or you need to sell for you, etc. And I was like, because I was kind of desperate for a job at this point, because, you know, lockdown and all sorts. And I did contemplate it for a while, but it's like really face-to-face customer, like, isn't it?
You have to get really in their grill.
You
to
like
sell.
basically you open the door and you're like that, like ready, pouncing on them. Do you need some makeup, ma'am? Or sir, do you need some makeup? Or dog, do you need some makeup? Because you know who's going to answer the door. And I'm not that great. Well, no, I know. I'm great at customer service. I am really good at customer service. However, I've had some bad customer service experiences, and that's where the trigger comes in. Because, like, I remember I used to work for a job where people, the way that my day would start is a phone call would come in. I'd answer the phone for a company that I will not divulge who they are, but I said, "Good morning." I'm blanking myself.
I hope that wasn't blanked, and that's how you got it, and that's why you lost the job.
Shush.
Hello.
Hello. Roz speaking. So I'd said the company name and then my name, and the first thing they did was yell down the phone and say, "Who is this?" And that was how my phone call started. I apologise to everyone at home who wasn't expecting me to raise my voice in that way.
But neither were you.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't
context.
expecting it
Yeah.
at all, which would be quite alarming, because sometimes people will take their customer complaints to the absolute maximum, which I just don't think is fair, you know? Yeah, so as a gentle segue into that.
That was really gentle. Oh, you're gonna realize in a second, audience, how gentle that segue was. You're not gonna even notice how the subject shifted very slightly, and now our next VT makes perfect sense.
Thank you, Scott. Scott was just looking at me like, "Why are you telling this story?" But it's because we actually got a bit of footage from a friend of ours who made a very similar customer complaint recently.
Antics Home Show.
Hello, you're through to Sainsbury's Customer Support Nectar Card Department. How can I help?
Yeah, hi, I have a loyalty card with you.
That's great. How can I help?
Well, I've just been to Sainsbury's and I saw other people there.
I'm sorry?
That is not enough of an apology. How could you do this to me? Loyalty goes both ways, you know. You can't just cheat on me with other people.
I don't quite understand what you're saying, sir. Maybe
Don't try to defend what you've done. I have needs. Do you know what Tesco and Asda were offering? I turned them down because I wanted to be with you, and yet here you are letting anyone in and out like I don't even matter.
Well,
It's too late. I'm breaking up with you.
Antics Home Show.
Do you see? Did you see?
I did.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful segue.
Thanks.
I think you should all applaud Roz on the chat.
If
I
you
didn't see
could,
that coming.
if you could. I really enjoyed in the chat a minute ago. I just read Hawkwood Paws asked whether the company that I worked for was Dannon, presumably because I was going which was good. So well done. You've definitely been fun in the chat, and you were waiting for me to express that to you. I know, chat.
That's a fun thumbs up from Fun Roz.
That was a thumbs up. Fun. Hang on, let me try. If I say fun, you say Ready? Fun. Sup. From us.
We'll work on that.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I'm really trying off the fly here to be delightful, and you're not backing me up.
Sorry, I'm just pooing on your parade. I apologise.
Pooing on my parade? What? That's not an expression. Is this your bargain
It's a politer
biscuit?
way of the actual phrase. Anyway.
Oh. Isn't it just raining on my parade? It is. It's raining on my parade.
It rains on your wedding day. You do something on someone's parade. And the chat knows. I can't use it. You got told off on radio for using that word.
Yeah, that word.
That word.
I'm going to leave it like very ambiguous just because it sounds better that way, because it actually wasn't that much of a swear word. Even a swear word at all, I don't think it was. Scott. So just casually, just bringing it up out of the blue. We've been doing a little bit of sort of, I don't know, shelf
agriculture.
Yeah, in lockdown, like many people, we've been cultivating a herb garden. I don't know why I emphasised herb, but I did. We've been cultivating a bit of a herb garden. Last week we showed a basil, I think, didn't we? Last time we were on the show.
Did I show the basil?
You did show the basil. You put it behind my head.
Put it behind us, yeah.
Thus making sure that everyone could see the fruits of your labour. Because normally Scott kills all the basil, so he was quite excited that this basil has survived for a long time.
Not only that, but it's thrived. And update on the basil situation, I've made a pesto. It's made 2 meals so far. And the basil's still going, it's still growing. It's one of those things that is constantly rejuvenating.
Update on the basil situation for you there from Scott. So we think we're actually already quite a dab hand at farming. So I'm quite interested to hear what our guest has to say about
He can
farming.
add to our knowledge.
Yeah. Farming Luke, are you there?
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's good. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on the show.
No, thanks for coming onto the show. We were really excited when you said, you wanted to be on the show because you had some really big news. So we thought, great, we want to help you with that. First of all, could you just give us a little bit of a background as to your farming experience?
Yeah, well, obviously, kind of when the lockdown kicked in, I just wanted to get out of cities, kind of go back to my roots. And then when I thought maybe go back to my root vegetables as kind of a natural progression of that. So I've moved out. I've managed to grow a single potato.
Okay, that looks very much like a potato that you would just buy from the store.
Well, all potatoes look.
Yeah, but normally don't they have roots and things to them when they're just out the ground?
Did you take off the dangly bits, Luke?
Well, I've made it screen ready.
Oh, you've prettied it up for the live stream.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What are you planning on doing with that potato, Luke?
Eat it.
Just raw, like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Great.
Good to know that you're
Yeah.
sustaining yourself in lockdown. So
Thanks.
let's just jump straight to it. Luke, you had some big news.
Yeah, hit us.
Yeah,
with the news.
well, whilst out here, I discovered a wonderful restorative concoction, and I just wanted to show it to everyone. Here it is. And it just really helps you kind of get through the day. And what I've been doing is going from town to town and selling it to often the highest bidder, often the only bidder, and often to myself to save face.
Okay, cool. Well, could you describe a little bit about what's in the in your miracle elixir? Because it looks a lot like water from this perspective.
Yeah, it's really clear.
I've never heard of that before, so I can't make any comparisons there. But you can get this kind of anywhere from, kitchens. I found it in my kitchen. There's actually like a magic kind of tap thing. I guess you call it a tap. And as long as you kind of get the balance right. I like to put warm water in first and then put some cold water in.
Wait.
You just said you didn't know what water was, and now you're telling us you like to start with warm water.
Well, I know what warm water is.
There's very little.
Look, I'll have some now live on air. See, I feel better already.
Okay. I'm Luke. It seems.
Don't burst his bubble.
Okay.
It's not worth it.
Are you sure? Because it seems.
Look, guys, I'm going to level with you. Being furloughed's been really hard, and I've had to figure out a way of keeping the bills paid. So, I'll put my PayPal in the chat, and if anyone can transfer me to the PayPal, that would be great.
Wait, what? That didn't make any sense either. You'll put your PayPal in the chat, and if anyone can transfer you to PayPal to do something.
If anyone can show me how to use PayPal.
Okay.
That would be great.
So just to I'm sorry, I have to, but just to reconfirm what just happened there, you told us you had a new product you wanted to tell people about online. You showed us what was water, told me you didn't know what water was, and then told me you start with warm water. Why did you think for a second this was a miracle elixir? I'm confused.
Is the thing you've discovered the ability to cool down warm water?
It's best not to dwell on the specifics, I think. Let's all try and think of the bigger picture and drink more water.
Okay. Have you done any other farm? I mean, you made that potato. That was pretty impressive. Any other farming skills? I see you've got a nice new hat. Yeah,
got a hat, keeps my head cool whilst I'm out there in the fields.
Which fields are you in?
I'd rather not answer that question because the man who owns them doesn't know I'm in there.
Are you just stealing from people's allotments, Luke?
Usually people scrump.
Again, the more I feel like we're falling down a rabbit hole here of possible implications.
Okay.
But I'm fully happy to answer more questions later from the audience, from the chat.
Sure.
Good.
Okay, cool. So,
but if they can keep it about the potato and about the miracle elixir.
And you'll be able to answer any farming questions for them as well.
You said it was really restorative. I'm not sure if you clarified. What does it actually do for you?
Well, it just keeps me going, throughout the day. Because before I was often fainting, often getting very tired very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I started drinking this, and to be honest, I just feel so much better.
Yeah, water is pretty good for you.
Yeah.
Generally, yeah. I suppose very fair enough, farming Luke. Water could be considered to be a miracle elixir. You should certainly drink more water. We definitely would like to spread that message out there to anyone in the chat. Maybe 8 glasses a day, I think it is. 8 glasses a day is really good for you.
Or one big jug.
Or
one
a couple of big jugs, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad that we took a punt on putting Luke on without finding out what he was going to do.
We need to have a talk with our researchers.
Yeah. Okay. So Luke, we'll come back to you later on. We'll get some suggestions. Some questions.
Get ready for some really specific questions
about farming.
Great.
Cool.
Look forward to it.
Thanks, Luke. Okay. So that was illuminating.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, fair enough. If I discovered water for the first time, I think I'd be amazed. I would be pretty amazed. He was doing a bit of what I like to call a Little Mermaiding out there, where he. Bear with me. Let me explain this, because in the Little Mermaid song, right, she says. She references a bunch of things that she doesn't know what they are. She's like, I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. And she's talking about all these things and how she uses them and that lot. And she doesn't know what the word is for fire or for feet. Okay. But then she says, up there on land, bet they'd understand, bet they don't reprimand their women. How does she know that word? But she doesn't know the word feet or fire. I mean, I get it. She's under the sea. But the reprimands come down from above.
Maybe she's reading the dictionary but backwards.
What?
I'm trying to justify it. I'm sure Disney writers have a rich
tapestry
backstory
of Little Mermaid. The reasons why the Little Mermaid knows. Her vocabulary is so verbose, and yet doesn't know.
Proud of using.
I was pretty proud of using the word verbose.
You did quite a dramatic turn. Verbose, you could say.
I guess you could say she was saying words verbatim. And that's a number of V words that I know off the top of my head.
You did not get as far in the dictionary as she did.
All right, fuck off. I don't need to be described. I'm cleverer than the Little Mermaid. Look, she was combing her hair with a fork. You know, like later on when she's like, you know, married to him after the very confusing transition onto land that she only had like a week. And then she's married to him, and she still doesn't understand most of how society works. And she's going to be just thrust in there, in the middle of, like, you know, banquet halls and things like that, because he's a prince. And she's going to be combing her hair with a fork, and he's going to be like...
She's hot.
Yeah, she's hot, and she used to be silent, so had to put a ring on it. Anyway, okay, sorry.
Horrific story for you there.
Well, actually, the original Little Mermaid was pretty horrific.
More horrible.
All Disney is pretty horrific. This does not link in any way into the next segment, so I'm just going to awkwardly sidestep it and say...
you want a segue?
Yeah, I was going to make a segue, a very clever segue, actually, again. But I've looped back on myself. It was basically going to be about jobs, because, you know, Luke was doing a farming job. We've all had jobs, and we've all specifically had job interviews. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, now I see how this works. Yeah.
Okay, so I was going to share a story about my worst job interview experience I've ever had. I was wondering if you had any. I hadn't actually let Scott know that I was going to do this, so he hasn't had time to prepare, and I have. So it's not really fair of me to just launch you and make you do yours.
Oh, I do have a terrible...
But there we go.
I've got a terrible job interview
story. Why don't you start?
I was going for a job.
Good start.
In London.
Right.
There's this big guy in the world of film sound. He's really big. And
big like well known or big like big?
Both.
Ooh.
Anyway, I went to go for an assistant
not mutually
post-production sound job, and he was working in his bunker, soundproof bunker, as you do, and as I walked in, so I was meant to be sort of going for, it was pretty much a runner job. I was going to go around and clean tables, bring lunches, all that jazz. Mm-hmm. And the first thing I did, seeing him raising up my hand, I swung my backpack and I knocked over an incense bottle, and it went everywhere.
I remember this story now.
And it filled the room. And then we proceeded to have a 30-minute interview in this incredibly pungent room. We're talking about, you know, how I'm going to be really quiet and and like a quiet waiter bringing food silently to your workstation.
You're going to be silent but deadly. You're going to walk in there, knock over all the incense.
I'd like to think I left an impression, but it probably wasn't a good one. But it probably was long lasting. You know, that stuff sticks around, doesn't it?
To be fair, if you're going to leave a smell in some like job interview, I think probably that one's not a bad one. You know. Probably be worse if you like just shat yourself. It could have been a worse story.
I think if I had, it would have masked it. It was that pungent. Maybe I missed an opportunity there to have a dump in an interview.
That's not an opportunity anyone wants. So I don't know. Have I got time to do mine, or should we just move on?
I think my story was pretty banging, to be honest.
Okay,
Yeah,
Scott thinks that my story isn't good enough. If anyone would like to hear my story, let me know in the chat, and I'll go back over it maybe in the fun Roz segment. But for now, let's see another interview or audition, as it were, that went somewhat well.
Antics Home Show.
Hello.
Hi there. If you could just take a seat.
Yeah.
Yep. When you're ready, look at the camera and say your name.
Stephen Jones, and I'm going for the role of storyteller on children's TV programme Bedtime Stories.
Only needed your name, but thanks anyway, Steve. Can I call you Steve?
No.
Well, Stephen, if you could just pick up the book in front of you there, present the title of the book to the camera, and then read the first few pages for us.
A Bear in the Woods.
Out loud, if you could, Stephen.
Oh. Right, yeah. Sorry. Angelica had always wondered...
It's Angelica.
Angelica had always wondered who lived in the woods, so one day she decided to find out. As she approached the edge of the woods, she saw something moving amongst the What's that word?
Trees.
Trees.
Living amongst the trees.
Moving amongst the trees. As she moved in for a closer look, a big brown bear jumped out in front of her.
If you could just, if you could act more surprised about the bear.
Act more surprised at the bear. More surprised. Right. A big brown bear jumped out in front of her. Fuck me, big brown bear.
No swearing, please.
No swearing.
Just act surprised.
Surprised, but no swearing. A big brown bear jumped out in front of her. I'm the big brown bear of these woods, said the bear.
If you could sound more like a bear.
More like a bear. Sounds more like a bear. Okay. I'm the big brown bear of these
That's
woods.
just your same voice again.
Yeah. Right. More like a bear. Said the bear.
No, we still need to know what the bear is saying.
Need to know what the bear's saying. Right, yeah. I'm the big brown bear of these woods, said the bear. Angelica was very surprised.
No, it's pronounced Angelica, remember?
Angelica.
No, Angelica.
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 Yes?
Angelica.
No, it's Angelica, you wank. You managed it at the start. What's wrong with you? Honestly, everyone we've had into audition can hardly read, let alone present. Fuck this.
Let me know what part.
He'll let you know.
You'll let me know.
Antics Home Show.
Yeah. So I don't think I've ever had an audition. Actually, I have had auditions. But I've never had ones where you just have to sit in front of a camera and a blank wall on a laundry basket. Was that a laundry basket, Oscar? Let us know.
I have had...
What, that exact experience Scott's had?
Yeah, actually. Pretty much.
Explain.
I went for an audition. The only audition I've ever gone for. For a TV commercial. And but on the other side of the camera were 8 people. Oh no, I've done 2 auditions. Did it. Both of them went really badly.
What do you mean I did it?
I did it.
I did it. I got the memory. Oh, yes, memory get.
But not the job. Oh. I just really enjoy it. Yeah.
Sorry, a little bit of fluff there.
And it's not a fun experience because you've got the pressure of a camera and lots of people just judging you like a piece of meat.
Can I say, do you know what is a fun experience is the pun that was made in the chat by Endeline of Scott seemed quite sentimental there. Like
nice.
S-C-N. Oh, you can see it.
You can see it. We're playing catch up all the time.
We're playing catch up. I also just want to say thank you to Hysteria92 for agreeing with me that it is Team Rain on your parade, because that is the actual expression, and no one has ever said poop on your parade.
No, it's not poop on your. It's another word.
Poop on your
I'll
parade.
say it at the end
You
of the
sound
show.
like a toddler. I'm gonna poop on your parade. Oh yeah, well you're a poopy face.
I didn't say poopy face. Just
I think he did.
there's a lot of chat about getting Farmer Luke to eat a potato later, so I'm quite excited about
Everyone boiled down to watching someone talk about farming, and it went to eat a potato.
Eat the potato.
Eat the potato. Eat potato.
We had a little conversation about whether it's poisonous.
Is it poisonous
raw.
to eat?
I think it's something to do with green potatoes are something like that. So we'll find out live on air later when we ask, strongly suggest Farmer Luke to eat his potato.
I'm not making Luke eat a potato. He doesn't want to eat a potato, Scott.
He'll do it for a live audience. I know Luke.
Right. Okay.
It's yes, and he'll eat a.
You can't put the rules of improv to like do this dare. It's not.
I think you can.
I don't think you can. Well, okay, we'll see how well that goes. And also we've got a lot of fun questions to ask him. But do keep those coming in, because we're going to go back to Farmer Luke and actually ask him some of your
important questions.
Farming questions, I guess. Maybe also, I think there was a suggestion of what his miracle elixir could be called. So keep those going as well, because I guess water isn't good enough because it's not really a cellar, is it? Is there a waterworks on Monopoly?
Yes.
Okay.
Good. So not only has Luke, how much is it?
Yeah.
I think it's £250.
£250 for the waterworks. Okay, so
or
it's
£200.
There's quite a bit of money in water then.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it better or worse?
monopoly.
But is it better or worse than the railway system thing? Is it railway systems?
You need to own all 4 to. You need to own all 4 to get the maximum benefit.
Okay. Wait, that seems a bit worse then, because the waterworks is just like 1, right? And you get quite a lot of money from it.
Yes.
I haven't played Monopoly in a long time, because every time I do, it gets very sinister and very dark. Scott's not very good to play Monopoly with, because he becomes evil.
I become a problem when fake money's involved and friendships don't matter. On the Monopoly board, it doesn't matter.
Last time we played a game, a friend of ours, a very sweet friend of ours, decided to bail Scott out on the caveat that he would then help him
if ever he was in a
similar situation. Just very kind, very good-natured heart. And Scott jumped to it and said, yes, of course I will do that for you. Of course, please bail me out. And then it came to the situation where the friend needed bailing out. And Scott, what did you do?
I asked for every cent of the rent that was due to me.
Bankrupted him. So
I took everything.
That's why we keep your income very low. Yeah.
Like
Speaking of Monopoly, yeah. See how I did that?
Antics have been expanding into new realms. And this next advert is paid for by the Antics.
Antics Home Show.
Now introducing the Antics Home Show Companion Magazine. This is a prototype, featuring all of your favourite characters, such as... And then after that bit, he'll do a swipe to the next section. Work from home with Beth Kerridge. Dinner time with Beth Kerridge.
Luke, will you stop?
Relaxation time with Beth Kerridge.
Luke!
Send in your subscription today and receive a free piece of jewellery. Don't delay. Order today. Terms and conditions apply. Offers available only until stocks last, until Beth realises I stole her watch.
Antics Home Show.
Order today.
Yeah, it wasn't consulted on that magazine in any way, shape, or form.
Really? You feature pretty heavily.
Do I?
Yeah.
Do I feature heavily?
Yeah, there's a whole Fun Ros section where you cut out and you can craft yourself a little
Okay, because
bite.
it just it seemed very much like Luke has just drawn in felt tip on a notepad. There.
Look, Luke has 2 business degrees and is apparently a very active farmer who's discovered water now. Okay, he knows business. He knows what he's doing. He's gonna bring riches to Antics and make us a profitable enterprise.
He's going to own the monopoly eventually, one day. It goes Waterworks, Magazine Company, Mayfair, McDonald's, when they do those little offers on McDonald's monopoly things, and then profit. Right?
Yeah.
Don't look at me like you're not making any sense, because I'm making all the sense.
You've not made as much sense as you'd like.
Whoa, boo. Boo! Stop pooing on my parade, Scott.
Okay. This is the word I was thinking of is pissing, all right, guys?
Yeah, okay.
Pissing on your parades.
Or
People
Anna
say that.
JK says, shit on your pier. Stop shitting on my pier, Scott. Or, yeah, pissing on my bonfire by Caitlin Kitlow is another one. So any of these are acceptable. Quit pooing on my parade, though, Scott. Or you're going to be the bargain biscuit at the end of the barrel. Is that the thing? Is that the phrase?
Yeah, biscuit barrel. Yeah, everyone has a biscuit barrel
Yeah.
at home. So we're going to be asking
His head.
Farmer Luke some questions in a moment. But before we do, to get you in the mood for more questions, and do pop them in the chat and we'll ask them to Farmer Luke. Here's another question time with... What? Is that not a good segue?
Just roll the clip.
Antics Home Show.
Hello and welcome to Gardener's Question Time. It's been a very soggy winter, but everyone remain calm, as we're coming out of the other end for a more profitable spring and beating back those winter chills. This week our panel includes Martha Cale, Margaret Dilbury and Basil Johnson, who will be discussing how you can get those good chivations for the summer. But first, we have a question from Susan Smith, who's been having a spot of trouble with her weeds.
Hello, GQT. I've been growing my herb crop for the last 2 months now. I've managed to dry about 2 kilos worth of the Charlotte's Web, which I keep in my pantry. I've been watering my blueberry diesel hybrid, but the leaves are beginning to wither and go limp, and I can barely make a ½ ounce when dried. Now, I've sent in a sample of the troublesome blueberry diesel, as well as my speciality herb, to sample. I'm hoping to show off the new blend at our exotic cake stall at the village fete. Can you give me any advice on why this is happening and how I can fix it?
Oh dear, it sounds like you've been overwatering. Naughty, naughty. Now, most herbs are very susceptible to fungal root diseases when conditions are too wet. Overwatering is one of the most common mistakes made by a grower. Have you tried a less temperamental hybrid, such as the White Widow? That would grow alongside the Charlotte's Web nicely.
Couldn't agree more. The texture is completely off here. Though the overall musk is still pleasingly pungent and leaves a full feeling on your palate. So, I don't think it's beyond saving. How often you water your plants depends on the size, the space you have available, ambient temperature, and what nutrients you're using too.
I see. Yes, that makes sense. Well, I live in a small cottage, so maybe I've not been giving it enough space. I use a cupboard in the spare back bedroom. I'm a bit concerned to move it to the garden as the strong scent it gives off might bother the neighbours.
Oh, well, you can use fragrant plants to cover up the scent of your grow. Lavender, marjoram, rosemary, thyme, basil. Basil. Being the herb expert here, what did you make of the speciality blend Susan sent in?
If Cinderella's shoe fit perfectly, wait for it, then why did it fall off? There you go. Anyone else notice we're all named after plants?
Well, we hope that helps, Susan. Good luck with your village fete, and do let us know how you get on with growing your cannabis. Well, it looks as though we might have to cut Gardener's Question Time short this week. Next up is Woman's Hour, with one woman's incredible story of survival in the Amazon, told from the perspective of two men.
Antics Home Show.
So a snippet from our audio.
from our audio.
Audio World.
From Audio World.
Yeah.
What?
I'm trying to do the segue for the clip that we just did that I would have said something along the lines of.
Because I cut you off because I was confused as to why you were doing it.
Yeah, I'm now finishing my segue.
Oh, okay. So it's like it went and then you were like, "Here we go."
No, you just cut ahead.
Well, I did, but because you were like,
I was rambling.
now we've got some questions from Question Time. So that was, Gardener's Question Time, it was really prevalent, really relevant. Not prevalent. That's the word I keep using wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, you keep using the word prevalent instead of relevant.
Yeah, prevalent, relevant, both,
Tomato, tomato.
I'm pretty sure that they're an anagram of each other. Using all the words correctly today. Then that was Gardener's Question Time, which is relevant to Farmer's Question Time. And it's Farming Luke again. Farming Luke, hi.
Yeah.
You don't have to eat the potato, Farming Luke.
No, you do. No, you do. Twitch asked you to.
Oh, no.
No, we'll
Do you want to ask some questions first?
If you don't worry about that for now, okay, put the potato down for now. We'll start with some gentle questions and we'll work our way up to the potato. How does that sound?
Okay, you look really scared and sad. Okay, so Scott's been looking through the chat, Farming Luke, 'cause we've had loads of really great questions for you. So first of all, who asks question first?
So Blue Boy 101 asks, I'd like to know Farmer Luke's opinion on how to counter soil degradation due to deforestation resultant rainwater runoff.
Okay. I would say if you're countering something, then really you want to stop it at its origin, which sounds like the origin is deforestation. So I would work to really stop deforestation in the first place by lobbying governments, working with local businesses to stop them from, to try and stop them from deforestation in the first place.
What
Next.
insightful answer. We should all be trying to lobby government to stop deforestation of rainforests. Fair enough, Luke. Once again, very much like your water, drink more water sort of PSA. Also, save the rainforests PSA
Which we can get on board with.
So, there you go. I hope blah, 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 blah.
I agree.
Blue Boy 101, I
Next-
hope that answers your question.
Next question comes from Haseri92. Slightly gentler question. Probably should have started with it.
Okay.
For Farmer Luke, best animal to have on the farm?
It depends on what you're farming. So if you're farming for wool, then you want sheep because they create wool. If you're farming for pork, then you want the pork animal. If you're farming for beef, you want the beefy. And if you're farming for potatoes, you want pigs.
Okay. Can I ask a quick question? Just jumping in.
There's quite a few to jump in the queue of. but-
Just quickly though, Farming Luke, how many sheep for bricks would you offer me if I had it? Just curiously.
It depends on what your trade rate was and what my trade rate was.
Okay. I'm trying to build a new road, so.
Well, why would you want sheep then?
Well, because I understand all of my life's problems via board games, and Catan tells me that.
I see
You
what's
need to squish
happened.
more sheep to get more brick.
Brick for
It
sheep.
says you city folk.
Okay, sorry, I jumped in the queue there. Who else has got questions for Farming Luke?
VRJC92. What does Farmer Luke listen to in his tractor?
Very heavy gangster rap.
Do you have a tractor?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, it sounds like you were just stealing from allotments. Why would you have a tractor?
The tractor's more decorative.
Okay. Is it a large-scale tractor, or is it one of those ones you get for kids?
It's a toy, yeah. It's a toy tractor. Okay. Yeah, I got it in a McDonald's Happy Meal.
Yeah, and then you go, you do Gangster's Paradise whilst you're pushing the truck along.
Yeah. I get a lot of sympathetic looks.
I can imagine.
Question for Farmer Luke from Cap Murphy. What is the pork animal?
What's the pork animal? It's actually a very rare kind of animal that you only find in the southwest. It has a snout, quite a large belly. It likes to dig, especially good at finding truffles. It's often a pinkish color, 4 legs. That's the pork animal.
Did you just say boil eggs?
4 legs.
4 legs, sorry.
4 legs.
They boil eggs.
But you can boil eggs. Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Anyone can boil an egg.
Farmer Luke, I'm just curious. Okay, so guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Why are they called guinea pigs? What is it about them that? Because I don't think they look anything like pigs. So I'm just curious as to why that name.
Well, it's really interesting with guinea pigs, actually. In that, have you heard of the phrase "to be a guinea pig" when you're tried out for like a new thing in a trial? That was actually the original guinea pig, and the animal was named after that phrase. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that does.
Sort of, yeah.
I don't. Yeah, okay. I'll have to check that out later and confirm that fact.
You should fact check everything.
Yeah, I'm going to fact check everything.
Oh, yeah. We've got a very
That's
busy
another
fact
PSA.
checking audience.
That's actually what Ross does in the background. He fact checks everything whilst we're working.
So we can issue apologies immediately after the show.
He Googles. He's basically
Yeah,
just
that's
Googling.
good. There's going to be a few.
Meh.
Last question from Kaluja.
Ooh.
I want to have a hot dog, but I don't have a dog. What animal would be best?
That's really hard because obviously having a dog is really important. I would say just have the hot animal. Because obviously as 2 animals form it, the hot animal and the dog.
Can you
So just
elaborate
have the
on which
hot
animal
part.
you think is the hottest?
Again, I don't want to get onto any reasons why I moved to a farm or, why I'm constantly being kicked out of the local farm. So,
Okay. I'm really worried about Luke.
Are you okay? This is
You're
a
right
question
to be.
for me this time.
Am I okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Good.
I've got my miracle elixir.
We should have started by checking.
You've got your miracle elixir. Oh, can we have Luke our miracle elixir names, please?
Ooh, yeah.
We've got some in the chat.
Do we?
Yeah. If you maybe want to go
Hang
to.
on.
Okay, Scott's gonna look. Scott's gonna look through. So people were quite excited by your miracle elixir, Luke. That you're now drinking from. You know what? If you drink too much water, you could die. So please stop that.
That's not. Is that true?
It is true. Yeah, you can actually drown yourself. I once got involved in a water drinking contest, which is like one of the lamest things I could ever have done. And I drank like 8 pints in like 30 minutes, and I threw up really badly because you shouldn't try to drink that much water in one go. It was actually really stupid of me to do.
I once had an
but I
aerosol
won.
fight with my friends.
Huh?
I once had an aerosol fight with my friends.
That sounds really, really silly as well.
Really safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, dangerous because the cans can explode, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Farmer Luke, we'd like to give you a new name for your magical elixir.
We've workshopped it.
And we've workshopped it via Twitch chat.
Focus
And
group.
and we'd like you to pick your favourite. What you'd like to know your water as. Blue Boy 101, Potato Chaser.
That's good.
Passeri 92, Potion of Cure Light Wounds. Some of these I'm going to pretend like there were suggestions for this. Late Night Jackanory. Shit on your pier.
Mm-hmm.
Pissing on someone's bonfire. So those are your options. Those are your options.
So are there only 2 real suggestions?
I think 3.
No, I think
Light Brigade or whatever.
There's at least 5 solid suggestions there.
Okay, I like the Potion of Cure Light Wounds because it sounds kind of Skyrim-y, RPG style.
Lord of the
That's
Rings-esque.
fun. That's fun. What was the first one? Potato Chaser. I'm assuming that's a way to bait me into eating a potato. And I only will if people buy enough of the Antics Companion magazine.
They're going for quite an expensive. They're quite expensive, aren't they, Luke? If I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
again, if someone could teach me how to use PayPal so I can take orders, that would be great.
Okay.
We've had a late suggestion. Sorry, Wonder Juice.
I like Wonder Juice,
Wonder
but
Juice.
I call something
Wonder
else
Juice.
that. So
Huh?
what?
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 Okay, as much as I'd love to do this all day with you, Luke, I think this is only fun for you and me. So I'm gonna cut it there. Thank you, Farmer Luke. Can I just call you Luke? Because I don't think you're a farmer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll take off the hat.
The only thing that's
I'll
left
take off the
now is
hat.
to see you eat that potato.
I really hope as I go to eat it, Ross cuts to the next thing.
Yeah, if you start the very slow process taking a bite,
Then we
and
could go to a word from our sponsor.
We'll go to a word from our sponsor.
Tell me when it's cut. Tell me when you've cut.
Yeah, any second now.
I can almost taste it.
He's not cutting away.
Come on, Russ.
Okay,
Go on, Ross. Come on, Ross.
We'll cut.
Are you fed up of being in a pyramid scheme where there isn't even a pyramid at the end? Then boy, do we have a deal for you. At Pyrico, we're different. We're the only pyramid scheme where we guarantee you'll be building an actual pyramid. After only 20 years' joyous labour, you'll get your own brick, complete with an inscription of your name, age, and where you live. And remember, if you share this opportunity, everyone goes higher.
Antics Home Show.
Well,
Wow, he took such a big bite out of that potato, and no one will ever see it.
no one will ever see it. In fact, he baked it within like the last 2 minutes and just ate it raw.
Raw baked potato with some like raw baked beans that had been cooked and cheese that had melted but was still pretty
Everyone likes
in
the
a
word
cow.
raw because it makes it sound healthier. Speaking of healthier, sometimes sometimes people put makeup on to make them look healthier.
It doesn't count as a segue if you say speaking of.
Sorry.
You can't just say speaking of.
Yeah, okay. Well, like I mentioned earlier on, there's lots of ways I could get to makeup, frankly. You don't have to ever deal or think about makeup. So I don't know what I'm saying here, but basically, you know, you don't know the gripes and the troubles of trying to make yourself. Well, actually, the one day that I realized, like quite literally in the morning, I was putting makeup on and I was like, I'm quite literally painting my face right now. Like I'm like putting on. I've just noticed that the background has gone off because we've gone on too long. So
other streaming services are available. It's just not just.
So I'm just gonna put my arm out like this and say. So yeah, I often look out to other methods to check out. There we go. To check out how you can do your makeup really nicely. And I actually came across a really great YouTuber the other day. This YouTuber. Before we go to that, well, her name is Dolly May Petal. But before we go to that, is there something you want to ask the audience?
Oh yeah, there is. Later in the studio, we've got the one and only Fun Roz coming back to round the show off, and as usual, she'll be doing a 10-minute craft based on your suggestion at home. So this month, our request from you is a suggestion of something that is inspired by the farm or gardening. So that's pretty broad.
I didn't say gardening, I said farming.
I said gardening. I've broadened the brief. You're welcome, Twitch audience. Please submit in the chat and we will be pushing Roz through her paces like a crafting assault course that is Fun Roz later on.
But for now, why don't you check out my favourite YouTuber, Dolly May Petal.
Antics Home Show.
Hi guys, namaste. It's Dolly May Petal here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Dolly May Petal. Walking around the park all day. Girl, you are so special. La 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 la. Okay, so for my first video, I thought I'd do a makeup tutorial. Everybody's always saying to me, Dolly May Petal, your makeup is so good, so I thought I'd share my secrets with you. Okay, so today we're going to go for a natural look, something quick, something easy for all you beginners out there. So the first thing to do is to take your makeup off. Now, I'm just going to warn you, I look quite different without makeup on. Hi guys, so here I am without any makeup on. Sorry, this is just really hard for me. It's triggering me.
You okay?
Yes, I'm fine, Stephen! Okay, first up is face mask. I'm using a product called Dead Man's Skin. So you need to keep the face mask on for 1 hour for every year they were alive. And so this man was 70 years old. So I'll just sit and I'll wait. Now you're ready to moisturise and prime. So it's very important that you stay hydrated, the human body stays hydrated. So I like to moisturise myself all over every 2 hours. Next up, foundation. Now I'm actually really lucky because my skin isn't too dry or too greasy, so I can pretty much wear any foundation and it just looks really flawless. Okay, so next up, concealer. So just put it in any place you think you might need it. I just like to do a cross here on my forehead because God has blessed me today. Okay, next up, contouring. You want to give the illusion that you haven't really been eating properly. And so people are going to be a bit concerned about you and ask you questions like, are you okay? That's the sort of thing you want. Okay, next up, eyebrows. Now, I like to do mine as thick as possible. I like to think of 2 little slugs on my face. People need to know how you're reacting to situations. So
You just really want to look surprised, like, oh, I bumped into you at the shop and I can't believe it. Just a constant state of shock, really. Next up, eyeshadow. Now, I'm going to go red. I'm going to go bold today. I just think it adds a sort of sense of vulnerability. You know, it's a bit like you've been crying. And that, together with the contour, will, you know, people will hopefully ask some questions. Now, remember with eyeliner, more is more and less is less, okay? So just have that in your head when you're doing your eyeliner. As you can see, I've made a mistake, but the thing is about mistakes is that you should never apologise for them. Okay, so next up, lips. Now, you want to make your lips as full as possible, otherwise people won't like you. So start with a lip liner. So finally, bronzer. Now, this bronzer I'm using today is called Salt of the Earth Magaluf Street Party 2019. Okay, so there we are. Now you're ready to accidentally bump into the neighbour that you fancy at the gym. So remember to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And next week, I'm pleased to announce I'll be releasing my new EP. Hashtag live, laugh, love. Hashtag Dolly May Petal. Namaste, friends.
And cut. Yeah, that was really good. I thought that was...
Stephen, shut up!
La 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 la, like and subscribe to Dolly May Petal. Antics Home Show.
It's fun, Roz, it's fun, Roz, it's time to craft some art. It's fun, Roz, it's fun, Roz, now where do we start? At the beginning.
Fuck it, that'll do.
Hi, it's Fun Roz.
She's back.
I'm back. Once again, thank you to Anna for that awesome musical Stinger and Scott's work there. Yeah, I mean, I don't like the name, but I love the Stinger, so great job. Oh, very authentic there.
Great. So we've had loads of suggestions in
Have
the
we?
chat.
Like
Yeah.
always?
Like always. People are getting very on board.
Is it a nice biscuit?
It's not a nice biscuit. Right,
No.
I'm gonna reel them off as per usual.
Go for it.
And we'll see how. I can't believe I said usual. Oh man.
Okay.
So, the field in which she planted her fucks.
The field in which I planted my fucks. Nice. Okay, thank you. Who was
from
that?
Hassari 92.
Nice.
Blue Boy 101. That's not a suggestion. It's just a comment. Kaluja, side skills.
Side skills.
VRJC 92. Please make a hoe. With HOE.
Okay.
A new tractor for Farmer Luke from Hassari 92.
Aww.
Blue Boy 101. Make potato, please.
Make potato, please.
And then he confirmed again immediately afterwards. Potato.
Make potato. Okay.
Pothmeister 25 wants a pitchfork.
Okay, so a lot of gardening tools today.
Cat Murphy wants a tiny tractor.
No.
Cat Murphy also wants a pork creature. I'm not sure if it's both, one of each.
A tiny creature riding... No, a pork creature riding a tiny tractor. That would be really hard. I'm not going to do that. Sorry. That would look horrible. And nothing like it, I'm sure.
Deforestation resultant rainwater runoff.
What does that mean? Come on,
Maybe not. I
guys.
don't think you don't have to pick that one.
Well, I'm not picking. You always make me try and pick them, and it's not fair. You just pick for me.
Pick
Get the
for
audience
you.
to vote. Get the Twitch chat to vote. Pick your favourite.
I could, but I
favourite
can't set
three.
up a poll right now.
Well,
maybe
no, but you could just
whoever's
say it out
loudest.
loud right now, like, well, just yell the one that you want to see made.
Yeah, everyone
Is it
on
various
Twitch.
garden tools? Is it a tractor? Is it my field with which to plant my fucks? Or what, rainforest deforestation? A devastating like diorama of deforestation and the effects thereon.
Pothmeister 24/5 says pitchfork, alternative non-traditional surprising farming tools, tractor. Couple of votes for pork creature. It's tricky.
I'd quite like to see you design a new kind of pitchfork. Yeah, some kind of garden farming implement, giant farming utensil, if you will, that you could use.
Okay, so a pitchfork is literally the one that you like shove into hay, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just
Twitch
checking.
is really divided between a pork creature and a pitchfork. So if you could combine both in your 10-minute craft, I think everyone would be happy.
Okay. Right, so I'm gonna, because I think a pitchfork has just 3 spokes, if I'm correct. Well, it'd be really, really good if I could like have some sort of picture representation here, just to give me a rough idea of what I'm trying to make.
A pitchfork?
I am.
You've seen a pitchfork before.
Yeah, but sometimes it just really helps. And does the pork creature have to look like a pig, or are we just going with the idea that it's a new creature? Oh, thank you, Ross. See, Ross is on my side. Ross doesn't want me suffering, Scott.
So, pitchfork,
It's
for
okay,
viewers at
I've
home,
got one here.
looks
like the
3
thing the
or
devil
4-pronged giant fork used for pricking.
Used for either pricking hay, or like getting hay, or torturing the eternal damned, if I am correct in thinking that, right?
You're correct.
I'm actually already psyched about this one. This is actually already looking hot. So, I hate to say it. Actually, no, I don't hate to say it. I love to say it. I think this is going to be the best craft ever. So, ow. Okay.
Talk us through what you're doing. Give us a wave.
First of all, I've got like these little matchsticks here that I've made into 3 prongs using my handy dandy sellotape that I used to love. I love every week. Ah, God, I see week and I mean monthly. See, the problem is, I get to this section and I've had 1 or 2 drinks, but not so many that it's insane.
You're fun, Roz.
And because it's always like I always go into it with a sense of, oh, this is going to be really hilarious and really fun. But actually, when I sit down in the seat, I get really stressed about how I'm going to actually come up with something in the moment, because I'm actually reasonably good at crafting normally outside of work. In fact, I ran a whole crafting workshop recently with some lovely people attending, and we made these awesome koi cup things.
Gonna get a little closer to those. Yeah.
And that was just out of handy dandy loo roll holders that you can have at home. So you know, you have spare loo roll tubes hanging around, and it's something that you can make that you can give to your family members if you don't particularly want them to get you anything nice in the future, because they're like, oh, look at this homemade gift. There's so many things you can do with loo roll holders in the crafting world that probably no one ever wants and will be chucked away at the end. But who knows, eh?
So you've got quite a good basis for a pitchfork there.
Yeah.
I can see the prongs looking good.
Yeah.
The chat's asking, do you have a glue gun?
I do have a glue gun, yeah, but I don't know if anyone was there and watched the episode where I tried to use my glue gun. I failed to set it up early enough, and it wasn't hot enough to use. So, yeah, the one time I tried to use it, it backfired on me, and I ended up looking much stupider than I wanted to. So, I haven't taken it out since. I have got it literally in my little craft box here, though. Along with my mount card cutter. That's one of my favourite tools, glue gun. Okay.
Do you want to hear some pitchfork facts?
Yeah, I always want to hear some pitchfork facts.
Fun fact 1, a pitchfork is a tool with a handle that usually 3 or more pointed ends.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Up the Antics account, so it must be true.
Okay.
A pitchfork is used to move hay and other materials.
Okay.
Yeah. VRC JC92, we really want to see the craft box.
You want to see the craft box?
You've got quite a few craft boxes on the go.
I do, yeah. I kind of haven't solidified my craft boxes into one because I like to pick up anything that I think is pretty. So I don't know if you can. It's really far away. I'm now wasting time on this. So I hope you
you've only-
appreciate when I show you this craft
You've only got
box.
4 minutes left.
See that?
Sure.
So that's my craft box, and inside is a few items that are helpful for crafting. Random assortment there, but
Is blue tack that useful?
Oh, blue tack is infinite.
For long-term designs?
Blue tack is always useful for
They-
long term.
They don't use it
I'm
on
gonna
the
have a
Angel of the
little
North.
sip
The ultimate craft.
Prosecco, just to give me a moment's pause whilst I think about how to make this creature. Okay.
Okay, you've got 3 minutes left.
What? See, I don't trust your timekeeping. I wish we had a clock going in the chat so that people could call you to account, hold you to account. I'm assuming this pork creature is basically just a pig, right? Yeah?
Well, it's what you make of it. So the brief, I mean, pork creature suggests pig, but you have artistic license, crafter's license, so you can turn it into whatever you like. Yeah. There is the chat is asking whether there's a Fun Ros badge. There is a Antics Home Show participation badge.
Oh, I'd make you a fun rod. I'll make you one. Who wants a fun rod badge?
Tell you what.
Do you want a fun Rog badge or a fun Roz badge? Because I can make you either. But I'll have to find a Rog to do the fun Rog badge for you. Whoever wants that, I'll make you one. Because I'm touched.
Kaluja suggests sending you a pitchfork so that they will receive a Fun Ros badge. So I think we can go to that.
I love that suggestion, Kaluja. Yes, absolutely. You please go for it. I would love to see your pitchforks. In fact, just, I don't know, leave them outside the Bit Theatre.
If you send a
in
pitchfork,
some sort of weird Blair Witch style. I haven't asked anyone on the Bit if that's okay, but do that in a sort of weird, like proffering up some sort of thing to the gods, and we'll see what
yeah,
happens.
if you send a pitchfork that you've crafted with your address to the Bristol Theatre, we'll be so impressed. We'll send you a badge.
Anything you want.
And
Within reason.
behind the scenes still from Antics Home Show. It's
Have we got any behind the scenes stills from the Antics Home Show?
sure.
Are you making that up? Okay, look, I'm doing actually reasonably well on this, so I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty hot.
You better, because you've only got 1 minute left.
Genuinely really hot as well, because it's so hot today. Okay, so I've gone with foam pieces, because foam is an infinitely useful tool when crafting. Foam is delightful because you can... You can basically... I don't know, shape it however you'd like, because it's more versatile than paper, because it won't tear as easily, but it's not as thick as card, and therefore you can do more with it. I picked up my foam pieces from my handy dandy craft box that I was gifted as a birthday present, but you can get foam pieces from any crafting store. Hobbycraft is a particularly great place to go get stuff. You're like confused because this week I'm actually doing legitimate.
Yeah, I can't make fun of you when you're being really genuine, so...
Yeah. Oh no, his leg fell off.
Whereas you have minus 20 seconds to complete this.
No, because...
So
What do you mean minus 20
it should have already been done. We should be discussing your craft.
Are you kidding me? Okay.
Yeah.
Why does it always go so quickly every week? Are you...
Because you're talking about genuine advice and telling people to go to crafting stores. Other stores are available, not just Hobbycraft, by the way.
Okay. But do we have to do that due diligence, or do we just do it because we think it's...
I'm sure Twitch has the same rules as BBC.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
Foam is as infinite as blue tack.
Oh my gosh, yes, you're right. Okay, I'm going to get my blue tack out and then I'm finishing my craft. Okay, 2 seconds.
No, that's what Kat Murphy said.
Yeah, she's
I
right.
wasn't making a suggestion. Is she right?
Kat Murphy is very right. Thank you, Kat Murphy. You know how I think you're a brilliant person.
Stop being so genuine. I can't talk. Well, seriously.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah?
Hang on.
Blue tacking this pig.
Literally 2 seconds. Let me just add a curly tail, Scott. Let me just add a curly tail, please.
Okay, you get one curly tail, but really, you know, I'm doing you a favour here.
You're being a bit of a jerk. You're not being a very nice biscuit right now.
I was trying to work out what type of biscuit I am, and I.
What kind of biscuit do you think you are?
I'd hope I was like one of those Fox's Christmas custard creams, but realistically, I'm more like a fig roll.
Fig rolls are great.
They are great, but they're also overlooked, and they're about, 40p, and people treat them as such. I think they're a great done kibble biscuit.
Okay.
Look, I'm vamping enough.
I am done.
You're done.
Okay, I'm pretty freaking impressed this week with myself. I don't often say this, but I mean, I've done the whole taping the shit out of it again, because sometimes when you're doing a craft in 10 minutes and you don't know what you're supposed to be making, you just use sellotape. However, you'll notice here that I have the pitchfork, which is actually being held by the pork. What are we calling it again? The pork thing?
That is a pork creature.
A pork creature. So I have gone very much into the traditional pig with this. I'm sorry. Although with this pig here, I was kind of sort of mimicking Okja, if anyone's seen that film, which is actually a great film, but also devastating. But definitely watch it because it is heartwarming. This is sort of like a devil pig. So it's the pig that comes to you when, frankly, you've been abusing... animal? No, that's a bit intense. When maybe I'm vegetarian, right? So this is the pig that comes at you when you've been eating meat irresponsibly.
Can I ask why the pig has been skewered with the...
He's not being skewered, he's holding it. Scott.
He's not holding
it.
He
is. Look,
it's nowhere near,
leg is on
it's
it.
nowhere near his legs.
His little leg is on it, see? Do. Hey, you... Right, okay, imagine the scene. Let me hang on. Okay, so here's the fiery pits of hell. Right. Okay, so you're in your bedroom at night. And then he goes, hey! You have sinned.
Are you doing a Christmas Carol but with
so
a terrifying pig?
Oh, a terrifying pig or an adorable pig. I think people are going to appreciate this.
Yeah, the chat is very responsive to this.
It's almost like the Three Little Pigs, but an updated, like, devil version. Like, what's that play called with the devil? English literature? Come on. You must have done it. Faustus. Dr. Faustus. You never did Faustus? Okay.
It was just Faust.
Is it just Faust? Am I wrong?
I don't know.
Anyway.
I didn't do that, no.
Okay, irrespective. You could actually use this as a puppet piece. And in fact, if anyone remembers last month, you could use this in conjunction with the big moustached Jeff Goldblum. So I think what I'm setting up is a puppet theatre here. So tune in next time and I'll do a whole puppet show.
Great. It might be time, Roz, for our wrap-up.
Yeah, is it the end of the show?
It's the end of the show. And in a complete departure from tradition, instead of revolving the studio to suit me,
you're going to come.
I'm going to join you in your side of in the Fun Roz corner.
Have you got a chat just to make sure that everyone I can say goodbye to people?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Come round then. Come round and enjoy the pig, the little pork creature. I'm going to name it Nice Biscuit.
Nice Biscuit?
I'm going to name it Nice Biscuit.
I think there was quite a few suggestions in the chat, including...
What's there for names?
Pigmas Carol.
Aww. What's the name character in the Christmas Carol?
Wow, it's quite fun in the Fun Roz corner. I pretend like this isn't just a part of my living room that I have visited before. But it is pretty impressive.
Actually, can I just, before we end the show, can I just get you to talk me through your craft from our Fun Roz crafting session, Scott?
So, I've been learning a lot about crafting. It's easy. isn't it, to criticise from behind a camera,
Mhm.
to sort of yell out abuse and question what people are doing. It turns out it's quite difficult to craft something convincing. So this is my attempt at a koi carp using a Jaffa cake background. This, by the way, complete side note, but still on theme with the whole show. Jaffa cake pineapple is out now.
Not great.
Not great.
Wouldn't endorse. I don't know what we were going with that.
Instead of an endorsement, that is just a warning from Antics Home Show. Don't buy it.
You know what? Try it though, because you might love it. It's quite like, what's the word? It's artificial. It's very artificial flavoured.
It's artificial taste, so your
Do
jam.
you need to mess with Jaffa cake? And is it a cake or is it a biscuit? These are the questions. Next week, no. I mean, next week you might find out the answers, but not on this show, because next week we have the wonderful This Is Your Musical coming back on Friday, and we have Radio Cupid on Saturday. So on the Friday you can enjoy some musical adventures. Kaluja, I'm sorry, I'm not going to wrap the wrap up because I'm shit at rap, but maybe This Is Your Musical will wrap their wrap up. And in the Radio Cupid, have all your love dilemmas answered, whatever they may be, even if it is my dog keeps looking at me funny, or I really want a dog. Like, really badly.
They can answer all those questions.
They can. So thank you so much for joining us for the Antics Home Show. We hope you had a blast. I had a blast. You guys are the best. I love reading your comments. I can't wait to actually check them out properly. I hope I answered everyone's questions. If not, we'll see. We're getting some cakeish biscuits about Jaffa cake. I think there was actually a court case about whether or not Jaffa cakes were the cake or a biscuit, because this is genuinely because the tax on biscuits and cakes is different. You weren't expecting such an intense
I'm
end
not
to
even
the
sure
show,
that's
were you?
true. I've heard it.
No, it genuinely
I've heard it
is.
repeatedly.
I swear
but-
to God, I checked it out on Google and it said it was true.
Okay.
So Google never lies, Scott. Google never lies. Google keeps tabs on us, but Google never lies. This is really, really fun to do because you guys are here with us, and we're working with the Bristol Improv Theatre, who are amazing and we love, and we really want to see them keep going for years to come. We also put a lot of effort into the show. Behind the scenes, our buddy Ross. Buddy? Is that okay, Ross?
At Christmas, I just call him my brother.
It's Scott's brother, Ross, works really hard behind the scenes, and it's so hot in here, and I feel it's hotter by the window, which is so confusing. I don't know why. So if you can and you are able to, we'd love a donation, because it really helps us so much, because there's so much work. Unbelievably, there's so much work that goes into this.
This just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen by itself, okay? It's because you out there, are very generous, and you'll keep the theatre alive so that we can keep making this.
Because otherwise, you won't get to go see real life theatre anymore. You'll just see
this. If anything,
you'll see me doing my Dr. Faustus story with Faust, which I've been confirmed, thank you chat, is the name of the main character. I will be doing these plays, and you will be thinking, what am I watching? And why did I pay money for this? Whereas if you go to the actual theatre, you'll be like, wow, this is blowing
and the
my
theatre will
mind.
be there to take this away.
In fact, I'll take them out of my hands and then I leave. So thank you, yeah.
There's links in the chat and below us right now.
Yep.
If you want to donate stuff, it's pay what you want. So
pay what you decide.
Pay what you
or
decide.
what you can.
Or what
Yeah,
you can.
Yeah. I'm losing my thread of thought here. However, can I just say one more thing? We also have got some really fabulous courses coming up at the Bristol Improv Theatre at the moment. On the 15th of August, there is the Words That Burn poetry improv session, which is one day, and it's going to be an incredible course. If you want to learn how to rap, that is the course for you, because it's going to be giving you all of the brilliancy of poetical language. You get to use words like, what did I use earlier? Verdant. Verbose. Verdant is a new one. Verdant. You'll use words like that.
Didn't know you got that far.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you want to learn how to speak with the language of the bard, then go to that course, because that's amazing. I think I've gone on too long for what was supposed to be a quick wrap up. So thank you so much once again. Scott, would you like to finish the segment off? I'll give you the autonomy.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Another great word.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next month. Please join us again with an Antics Home Show. Thank you to all the antics at home who have delivered their segments. And thank you to Ross in the background. Thank you to the Improv Theatre for having us. And thank you to Roz for finishing the bottle.
So that's it. That's it from me. And
that's it from her.